They have these very, very talented athletes that are actually willing to work hard, which is kind of a rare thing in what we're finding in today's world. And they're just left hanging out to dry. They don't get the attention, they don't get the showcases, they don't get the opportunities that a lot of these other kids do, and it's kind of a shame. And we want to give those kids a shot, basically is what we're doing. Fair Play is very green. It's just in its first baby steps. So what we're doing, we're reaching out to local coaches and asking them who is the hardest working, best athlete on your team. Because hard work beats talent all the time. I've seen it done over and over and over again. But even with my own experience, I was that kid that was willing to work really hard, but I worked myself in the wrong ways to injuries. And we don't want to see that with these kids that are out doing their own thing. We're going to give them a nutritionist, we're going to give them a sports psych coach, and then we're going to be their strength and conditioning resource. And this is all going to be done in groups so that they feed off of each other's energy. If they want it, they'll get it, and they're going to have to earn it. So I'd like to think of it more like a scholarship where they're going to have to earn whatever they get here. It's a privilege that they have to earn, that they have to keep. And every year they're going to have to redo that. So they're going to have to read books, they're going to have to write essays, they're going to have to work in here. They're not going to be able to just come in and screw around. Ultimately, this is going to be a very progressive and very positive thing. It's kind of threefold. It's kind of a little bit of my own experience. There's no way that my parents would have ever been able to afford what we're offering. And then also we had kids coming into the gym and their parents are just like, there's no way, like, there's no possible way that we could afford this. And then the third was whatever your political feelings are around the armed forces and stuff like that, you gotta kind of hand it to a kid who's willing to work. By the time they're done with us for a 4-year period, we basically want them to have kind of what I would quote unquote call a PhD in their own bodies. By the time they leave here, they're gonna know more than most strength and conditioning coaches in the country do. So they'll be able to walk into just about anywhere and get a job doing what we have taught them over the last 4 years of their high school career. We're giving them something that they can take and use for a lifetime. They're learning about how to lift properly and how to stretch and all that kind of stuff. We're teaching them how to eat that they can take with them for a lifetime. And as far as sports psych goes, and this kind of freaks a lot of people out because they're like, why are you getting into an athlete's head? Why do you need to do that? Most of the coaches that I know would agree that 90% of sports is mental and 10% is physical, but we spend way more than 90% on the physical and way less than 10% on the mental. And I kind of want to challenge that idea. I think that we should work more on the mental, or as much on the mental as we can, to kind of enhance all the others. So it's kind of like a tripod. And as far as sports, when we get into sports psych, it's kind of like, where does the sports end and the real life begin? Because there's so many things that go into being prepared for a competition, being prepared for a lift. Is my head in the right place? Can I be present? Can I be an upstanding person? You know, all that kind of stuff. They start learning about themselves and they start digging in. They get a good balance of external and internal focus. What I call internal focus is more like looking into finding out who you are to kind of be able to live a better life than you normally would have, or taking care of beliefs that you think limit you, which are why you couldn't do something. We want to challenge those with these kids, and hopefully that leads to them having a progressively better life than they would have normally had. As far as the perception of the donors, I think that the community will look at them as that they obviously care and that they show support of sports in the community. A lot of people show a lot of pride in their athletic teams in their area. We still produce team after team after team that does well on a national level. And I think that that's something pretty cool, considering just like the overall hard-working kind of way that Midwesterners or Iowans are kind of brought up. And we kind of want to champion that and really feed the hard workers in a good way. So if you're a hard worker, we want to really kind of support you in what you're doing.
You're watching City Channel 4. On TV, online, on demand, on Facebook, and now on the go on your mobile device.